The story of money in Britain is a truly epic one. You know, it doesn't begin with shiny gold or silver, but with something far more basic. Before the Romans ever set foot on the island, the ancient Celtic tribes used iron bars for trade. Can you imagine carrying those around? But change was coming. As these tribes traded with their neighbours across the Channel in Gaul, they saw something new, small, stamped pieces of metal. These were the first coins to reach Britain's shores, crude but revolutionary. They were often abstract, featuring strange horses and swirling patterns, a far cry from the detailed portraits we know today. But they were the spark that lit the fire of British coinage history. When the Romans arrived, they brought their own highly organised monetary system with them. For nearly 4 centuries, Roman coins like the denarius and the aureus were the law of the land. Mints were even established in places like London and Colchester, stamping out coins bearing the faces of emperors. But when the Roman Empire crumbled and its legions departed, Britain plunged into a period we call the Dark Ages. The sophisticated system of coinage vanished. For a time, people went back to barter or used old Roman coins. It was the Anglo-Saxon kings who would have to start all over again, forging a new identity for Britain, piece by piece, penny by penny. Enter the silver penny. This iconic coin would dominate English currency for hundreds of years. Kings like Alfred the Great, famous for fighting off the Vikings, understood the power of a standardized currency. He issued silver pennies with his portrait and the name of the mint where they were made. This was not just about money, it was about control and unity. It sent a powerful message: there is a king, and he is in charge. After the Norman conquest in 1066, William the Conqueror and his successors continued this tradition, though they replaced the Anglo-Saxon visages with their own, ensuring everyone knew who the new bosses were. Throughout the medieval period, the silver penny was the workhorse of the economy. But as trade and wealth grew, a need for a higher value coin emerged. In the mid-14th century, King Edward III introduced a stunning new gold coin, the noble. It was a large, beautiful piece of gold worth about £1/3. It depicted the king standing in a ship, holding a sword and shield. This powerful image symbolized England's growing naval might and its ambition on the world stage. It was a statement coin, a piece of propaganda in your pocket, and it set the stage for the golden era of British currency that was to come. The Tudor dynasty brought a new level of artistry and personality to British coins. Henry VIII, a king known for his larger-than-life presence, made sure his coinage reflected his power. His coins show him aging from a young, handsome prince to a broad, imposing monarch. But it was his daughter, Elizabeth I, whose reign is often seen as a golden age for coinage. Her coins are celebrated for their quality and classic design. A 1569 sixpence, for instance, shows a beautiful and determined portrait of the Virgin Queen. Even today, these coins are highly prized by collectors. A fine example of that very sixpence recently sold for £70 in an April 2025 auction, showing how the legacy of these monarchs lives on. Following the Tudors, a period of immense turmoil led to some of the most fascinating coins in British history. The English Civil War saw Parliament and the King minting their own separate coins to pay their armies. Then came something utterly unprecedented: the Commonwealth. For a brief period, Britain was a republic led by Oliver Cromwell. The coins from this era are incredibly rare and striking because they have no king. Instead, they feature Cromwell's own portrait in the style of a Roman emperor and English inscriptions instead of the traditional Latin. A gold proof brought from this period recently stunned the collecting world, selling for an incredible $126,000 at a heritage auction sale in May 2025. With the restoration of the monarchy under the Stuarts, a new era of innovation began. This period saw the introduction of milled or machine-made coins, which were more regular and harder to counterfeit. And with this new technology came a new coin, the guinea. First minted in 1663, it was originally made from gold, imported from the Guinea coast of Africa, which is how it got its name. The guinea quickly became a symbol of British prosperity and sophistication. It was the currency of gentlemen, of high-stakes wages, and of international trade. It represented a Britain that was looking outward, its confidence and influence growing across the globe. The guinea's story continued to evolve with each new monarch. During the reign of Queen Anne, some of the most beautiful and sought-after guineas were produced. A rare 1702 pattern guinea, one of fewer than 5 known to exist, fetched a staggering $102,000 at a May 2025 auction. This shows the intense passion collectors have for these pieces of history. Later, under George V, the guinea became even more central to the economy. A 1717 guinea from his reign sold for £3,600 in April 2025, far exceeding its estimate. These coins are not just metal, they are tangible links to the people and power struggles that shaped the nation. As Britain's influence expanded into a global empire, it needed a currency to match its ambition. The guinea had served well, but in the 19th century a new gold coin rose to take its place, the sovereign. First introduced in 1817, the sovereign was a magnificent piece of money, featuring a portrait of the monarch on one side and a classic design of St. George slaying a dragon on the other. This powerful imagery was no accident. It represented order triumphing over chaos, a message the British Empire was keen to project around the world. The sovereign was more than just a coin. It was a global brand, trusted for its purity and weight from London to Sydney to Hong Kong. The sovereign became the backbone of international finance. Its reliability helped make London the financial capital of the world. Merchants in distant lands would insist on being paid in British sovereigns because they knew its value was guaranteed. This had a profound impact on the development of other nations, including the United States. Early American colonists had used a mishmash of currencies, including British coins. The stability and design of British money heavily influenced the creation of the US dollar. The idea of a reliable government-backed currency represented by the sovereign became a blueprint for modern economies everywhere, shaping the very foundations of global trade. The reach of the British Empire meant that sovereigns were minted not just in London, but also in branch mints across the Commonwealth, in places like Canada, Australia and South Africa. This network of mints ensured a steady supply of these gold coins to fuel the empire's trade and administration. Each coin tells a story, not just of the monarch it depicts, but of the place it was made. A sovereign with a small M for Melbourne or S for Sydney connects it directly to the story of Australian settlement, for example. These coins are physical artifacts of a time when a single currency could link continents and facilitate the movement of goods, people and ideas on an unprecedented scale. The stories embedded in these coins make them irresistible to collectors. Some are rare because of a small error, a unique date, or their connection to a specific historical event. For instance, sovereigns were used to pay soldiers, fund expeditions, and secure treaties. The hunt for these rare pieces drives a passionate community of numismatists. Just recently, on October 31st, 2025, a Stanley Gibbons Baldwin's auction featured the Frank Whaley collection, where ancient and British coins drew intense interest from around the world. These events prove that the allure of the sovereign and the empire it helped build is as strong as ever, with collectors eager to own a piece of that golden legacy. The 20th century brought monumental changes to Britain and its currency. The long reign of Queen Elizabeth II, which began in 1952, spanned an era of incredible transformation. Her portrait graced British coins for 70 years, evolving from a youthful depiction by Mary Gillick to the mature image by Jodie Clark. But the single biggest change was decimalisation. On February 15, 1971, Britain said goodbye to the centuries-old system of pounds, shillings and pence. It was a massive undertaking known as Decimal Day that modernised the nation's money for a new age. New coins like the 50 pence and the 1 pence were introduced, forever changing the feel of change in a Britain's pocket. This new decimal system also opened the door for a wave of creativity in coin design. The Royal Mint began issuing a huge variety of commemorative coins to celebrate national events, historical anniversaries, and cultural figures. We've seen coins celebrating the Olympics, Paddington Bear, and David Bowie. These special issues have turned everyday currency into a nationwide treasure hunt, encouraging people to check their change for rare or interesting designs. It has created a whole new generation of collectors, people who might not have been interested in ancient coins, but are captivated by the stories told on the money they use every day. This has kept the hobby of coin collecting vibrant and accessible to everyone. Today, in 2025, the world of coin collecting is more dynamic than ever. While you can still find fascinating coins in your change, the high-stakes action has moved to international auction houses and online platforms. Auctions held by firms like St. James's and Heritage Auctions are global events, with bidders from America, Asia and Europe all competing for the rarest British coins. As we saw with the recent sales in April and May 2025, prices for top-tier British coins are incredibly strong. This demonstrates that these coins are not just historical artifacts. They are seen as serious investments, a tangible store of value in an uncertain digital world. From the first Celtic imitations to the latest commemorative issues, the journey of British coinage is a mirror to the history of the nation itself. These small metal discs tell stories of conquest, rebellion, empire and innovation. They connect us to legendary figures like Elizabeth I and Oliver Cromwell, and mark pivotal moments like the rise of the guinea and the dawn of the sovereign. For an American audience, this history is especially relevant as it forms the bedrock of our own monetary traditions. British coins are a testament to the enduring power of money to shape societies, build empires, and carry stories across centuries, remaining just as fascinating today as they were hundreds of years ago.